Law Nation. We're here live at Law Nation Studios with another episode of Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. I really appreciate you guys so much. I get it. The off season is here for us, and we got a lot of things to talk about. A lot. But as the room fill up, be sure to follow these orders of the law. Hit that like button, share this content. Let's go. It's a sad occasion. We're going to talk free agent. We're going to talk about rain. Dakota Prescott, public enemy number one. It's his fault. Get rid of Dak Prescott. That's what everybody's crying for, right? Life like this, I wish raindrops will fall. Come on. That's what they say. Mama said there'll be days just like this. But we still them boys, baby.
When you pray for rain, you gotta
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Today I am going to stand up for Dak Prescott.
No way. Yo. What's good? What's up? How y'all living? On the couch, we watching these playoff games, and we gonna be watching the Super Bowl from the couch, huh? That's just how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. The Cowboys were not successful this year, according to most pundits and critics. We were a team that was 5-12 that they allowed to go to the playoffs. We had sympathy wins over a win over a guy that was 45 years of age, and that don't count. And then we got blown out by the Niners because of one person. It was one person's fault. And from what I'm hearing is that I'm the protector of Dak, right? So anything that goes negatively about Dak, they say, man, that law, he's going to protect him. He's going to defend Dak to his grave. Although I point out things that he clearly got to improve on. He must work out better. But it's his fault now that, when it's 2nd and 2, all he had to do was lean forward and get the first down. Nevertheless, since we want to beat up the man and sully and denigrate this particular team for having him as the quarterback, we're going to talk about options at that spot, because some days I sit back and I think and I say, man, if I could snap my fingers just like that, and 7 years ago we should have we should have figured out a way to get Paxton Lynch, because that's way I know for sure a third of the Cowboy Nation would at least not be talking about the quarterback situation here. That we will be talking about, hey, man, I wish we had a situation where we can get XYZ quarterback. Nevertheless, it goes to that point, unfortunately. That's just how it is. And the Dallas Cowboys team, 12-5, is just not good enough, right? Last year, it wasn't good enough. This year, 12-5 is just horrid. We can't do anything for back-to-back 12-5 years, because everything that I say when I explain the situation, just excuses. But if you turn on the TV, no one is talking about the Buffalo Bills. No one talking about the Miami Dolphins. No one's talking about the Tampa Bay. No one is talking about the Giants. No one is talking about any of the other teams that had their shortcomings this year. And then when I present the facts that we are a better team than what we were last year, because we did have a playoff game that was won, people say that was the excuse, right? And then the year before that, when we made it to the playoff, they were saying that, hey, the Cowboys, 12-5, one and done, they're just what they're going to always be and forever be. And then we win a game, and it's still not good enough. So where do you can't win for losing. Every year we are considered to be Super Bowl or bust, and that's just how it goes. So where do you draw your line in the sand for happiness? Where do your line stop? Because I truly thought that at one point that the Cowboys in the last 15 years have not made it. These are facts. They have not made it to the playoff back-to-back years. So where do you draw your line in the sand of happiness? Where do you draw it? Like, is it back-to-back playoff appearances? Is it A, win a playoff game? Is it B, win multiple playoff games? Is it C, winning the Super Bowl only? Where do you draw your line in the sand? I need to know. I want to know, Cowboy Nation, where do you draw your line in the sand of happiness? I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. Like, where do you draw your line in the sand? Because at some point, you have to accept maybe this is who this team is. But clearly, any argument that this team is not improved is fallacy. It's false. This team improved because you can't sit back and say that this 12-5 is the same exact thing that was 12-5 5 years ago, because we wasn't. 6, 7 years ago, we wasn't. 13 years ago, we were not in these shapes, in these spots. But neither here nor there. Let me see if I can play some of this audio. I got to put some music behind it, though, so the people won't come get me. Here we go. There we go.
The Dallas Cowboys, you guys are whack. You're whack. I'm going to go back to the tweet that was sent out, because I'm not even going Micah Parsons. Like, the tweet. Dak Prescott gave away the ball twice in the narrow loss to the 49ers. In the matchup, the Cowboys had a chance to win if they didn't generate self-inflicted wounds.
This is from the Cowboys.
This is from the Cowboys' own Twitter handle. What are we doing? Like, I'm disgusted, I'm appalled, and I feel like...
I know it's supposedly be from the Cowboys Twitter handle. I'm just asking, is it really from them though? They didn't get hacked. Somebody didn't screw
it's
it
from
up.
their official account, and the picture is of a Dak looking at an iPad with his head down, looking miserable. And I'm like, what are we? This is not a team sport. Like, this is an athlete right now, is why I wouldn't rock with the Dallas Cowboys, because there is no I in team. How many times have we heard that, Key? Like, there is no one player that is bigger than the team. So if I'm getting lambasted by media members, if I got people burning my jersey saying, screw you, Dak, and I got the same record in the playoffs as Tony Romo, I'm like, okay, well, that seems harsh. But now the harsh criticism comes from internal, and we know how social media works, Key. This has to be passed up levels. There's no way people like above this have not seen this tweet and did not okay it. So like, what are they doing?
All right, so what are we doing here, ladies and gentlemen? My thoughts of it is, I talked about this before. I get it. I understand it, right? Heavy is the crown you wear. Also, it's cool. It's cool for us to talk about each other. But I for dog sure would not allow somebody from the outside talk about each other. So that's why when you have in your issues, your reservations on things, if you don't like the way mom cooked, or if you don't like the way your wife threw down a meal, you don't start talking about that in front of strangers, in front of people that's not inside or in your inner circle. You don't do those particular things, regardless of it, because it tarnishes your reputations. It tarnishes the look, the overall presentation on how you present yourself in front of the people from within. So while the Cowboys posted that, and I'm not saying that we're looking for repercussions of it, because even though it is true, It don't supposed to come from your mouths. And that, my friend, is what the Cowboys ultimately did with that particular piece there. Regardless of whether or not the interpretations of when you click on it, you can read it with context or what have you. But nevertheless, everyone have internal issues. Everyone have internal woes. Like, for example, there's somebody watching right now that really can't wait till Friday because that's when their paycheck come in, right? But they got to borrow money from Ray Ray and Pookie. Hey, Pookie, man, let me hold about $50. I got to, pay this light bill. They finna cut it off. I don't get paid until Friday. Let me hold something, But what Pookie don't do is say, hey, Ray Ray needed that $50 and let everybody know. So sometimes you got to keep things internally, keep things in-house. But neither here nor there. When you lose, you're frustrated, you're angry, you want to throw things around, you want to be able to vent your frustrations, but sometimes there's a place for it. There's a place for it and a time for it. But you got to know when to say it, but you don't supposed to expose it. All right, Gilberto, appreciate you for the super chat. Thank you for your support.
It's Mr. Nasty time.
All right, so I was listening in to 105.3 The Fan, and they had a good piece with Brian Baldinger, and he was pretty much talking about, like, the wide receivers and these sorts, and can Dak Prescott get it done? Is he the answer, or is he the solution, just with the weapons that he had? And the answer was ultimately, like, nah. And then he went to proceed to go into the facts of, hey, not even CeeDee Lamb. And I'm sitting here like, nah, dog, CeeDee Lamb is that dude. Nevertheless, objectively, I'm listening, right? We got to apply these reasonings together. So let's listen to what he had to say.
Costly mistake.
Is it fair to say for Dak that, he's around 30, he's in his prime? If you are going to get it done and be able to execute against that level of team in the playoffs, he's going to need better protection and better weapons, or how would you? Yeah,
I think so. I mean, I think that's well said. Like, it's clear that he can't, and I don't mean this in a negative way, because I don't know how many guys can do this, but he needs more help around him to be more successful. I think that's what it comes down to. CD is a really good player. You want him on your team. You want to be throwing the football to him. I don't know that he's a real number one. Just from the standpoint, I know they move him around like he's number one, but sometimes you just need that horse. There's just a difference between a number one and kind of a faux number one. They need another guy on the outside that can really win, whether it's man, whether it's zone. He's just got more dog in him than some of the guys they have.
All right, so one of the hardest things, being a Cowboy fan and being in a fan group, are the legacies, the shoes that you have to fill. Right? If CD played for, let's say, the Washington team, or if he played for the Giants or any other team, he would be viewed as, hey, man, that dude's a dog. He's a number one. Right? Or if CD played for the Jets, man, they'd be like, man, look at that dude, right? He wouldn't have wore 88, right? So the thing is, by you wearing that star on the side of your helmet, you got so many memorable moments from legacy. Excuse me, Roger Staubach, Troy Aikman. You see what I'm saying? That's legendary stuff over here for quarterbacks. So you're going to be compared to those guys regardless. So when we start talking about wide receivers, Drew Pearson, you talk about the playmaker. Even if you go down the likes of Dez Bryant, CD been here for only 3 years. We've been comparing CD to those boys since day one, right? And shame on CD for having multiple quarterbacks his rookie year. He's been unjustifiably compared to Justin Jefferson. And everybody, mama, uncle, cousin, Tupac, and Biggie climbing out of the grave. I like saying that. It just flows off the tongue really well. Been comparing CD to Justin Jefferson. You see, Justin is eligible to have bad games, bad spells, bad weeks, to be shut down. But CD is not. CD cannot have those games that Justin have. What people do is like the Mandela effect. People will only look at Justin Jefferson highlighted moments and throw away the bad moments and say, hey, nobody's better than him. Nobody is better than him. But when CD do it, it's just like, hey, man, look at the quarterback. Look at the disappearing acts of the wide receiver. He ain't Dez Bryant. He ain't the playmaker. He ain't Drew Pierce. You see how we do? He ain't T.O., you know. He's not a number one. But that's just how it is, being a Cowboy fan. Every player every player, have you ever noticed, outside of probably Zach Martin and maybe our offensive line, have tons of negative criticism. It's not constructive, it's criticism regardless. Every single player we have, every star player we have, is a pattern. They ain't this, they ain't that. And if they are, then we compare them like even Trayvon Diggs, when he was having his moments of interception, they immediately compare him to Deion. Like, come on, there's only one prime. The moment we had DeMarcus Lawrence doing his little thing, you know, he ain't DeMarcus Ware. No, he's D-Law. That's what we do time and time again. Every single player, either we sully them, we denigrate them, and we say that they less than. No one say, hey, man, let this dude just be him. Let this dude just be Trayvon Diggs. Let CeeDee Lamb be CeeDee Lamb. But he's not a number one, right? Who else was number one on this team? And I get what Brian Baldinger is saying because he's going to go into some good details of it, right?
And that's just, you know, San Francisco has that. Cincinnati certainly has that. Philadelphia and A.J. Brown has that, and Devontae isn't too far away. So if you look at the teams that are standing, they got those dogs on the outside. Now, Michael Irvin was that guy, and you know, Dez was that. I mean, they've had those guys in Dallas. They know what they look like. I don't know that they have that guy.
Baldy, we're going to miss your breakdowns from our unicorn that is Micah Parsons. I know he's going to miss him too. What'd you think about his game against San Francisco, and how'd you see him evolve throughout the course of the season?
Well, they asked him to do a lot on Sunday. I mean, George Kittle is the best blocking tight end in the league, and he slapped George to the ground. He couldn't block him in the run game. He slapped him to the ground in the pass game. He humped Mike McGlinchey at 315 pounds to the ground like it was Reggie White out there. He chased the quarterback from sideline to sideline and forced him into.
No doubt, man. No doubt at all. Let me fix this up right quick. No doubt at all. Now, when he was talking about dogs and he was talking about wide receivers before they go into details of Parsons, he was clearly saying that, you know, the teams that's remaining all got, you know, some explosive weapons. And I think even Parsons mentioned that too in one of his tweets. Let me see if I can find it. Appreciate y'all. All right, so Parsons says, besides Mahomes, every team in the Final Four QB is on a rookie deal and surrounded by talents. Interesting. Because this guy, Dove, he retweeted what Brandon Beans had to say. I don't want to suck bad enough to go get a Jamar Chase. Now, this ties into a lot of things. In 2016, we drafted Ezekiel Elliott. Why did we draft Ezekiel Elliott? So that we can go back to the year of 2014. Why is this such an important thing? Well, the Cowboys had the mindset to say to themselves, hey, they wet the bed in 2015 by releasing or allowing DeMarco Murray to test the waters, right? To not pay him, right? But people fail to realize in 2014, these contacts matters. In 2014, the Cowboys ran the ball. In 2014, the quarterback just protected the ball. He only had one game, write this down. He only had one game that he threw for 300 yards in that whole entire year, right? The offensive player of the year that year, look it up. The OPY was DeMarco Murray, although he had his issues in that playoff game by playing basketball with the football. But nevertheless, he was still the offensive player of the year. He made things work for this offense. And it took that long for the head coach, Jason Garrett, to go through his growing pains to get to that freaking moment. And that's what people fail to realize. See, a lot of the things that goes wrong with this team is the fact that we hired somebody with the expectation that they already knew what need to be done, and they had to go through growing pains to get to where we was at to 2014. Can somebody put down what was Jason Garrett's official year as a head coach? What year was it? Was it 08? 09? What year was it? Y'all help me out. So it literally took that brother all the way to 2014 to understand how to operate and proceed and to actually dial up things to utilize your resources. Let me read this super chat. 6 says, thank you for the rest of the Law Nation gang. Appreciate you from keeping it real. Been a fan of the show for a while and a Cowboy fan with the lady hat was king. Appreciate you. With the laundry hat, my bad, I can't read. With the laundry hat was king. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, fam. That's a long time, fam. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. When the laundry hat was king. You know, Tom Laundry was really nice, man. So 2010 was his official year. Shout out to you. It took him literally, multitudes of years to understand, okay, we run the ball, we play sound defense. Hey, we take it away from Tony Romo. We know that he can throw the ball. We know that we got a premier wide receiver by the name of Dez Bryant. Landry hat, yeah. So if anybody think they can do a better job, then go live and then realize that you can't do a better job than me right now. So I'm going to mess over some words. But you guys get what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. The Cowboys took a long time to understand that part of it, to understand that part of it. Then when you start to look at it and say, all right, they got rid of the offensive player of the year. They rolled out a philosophy and a plan with having a run it back by committee approach. That didn't work. Although that year we were what? Finishing third in rushing in 2015, but it just wasn't enough in 2015. So they said, you know what? When we go into these drafts in 16, we're going to make sure we draft a quarterback, but primarily we're going to go back to 2014 by drafting Ezekiel Elliott. They drafted Ezekiel Elliott because they wanted to go back to 2014 philosophy. They didn't have Dak Prescott in plan or in mind. But at that optimum time, remember what this young gentleman is going to say right here. Remember what he's going to say.
Anything that Cincinnati does, I'm thinking about those receivers, that type. If you see anything from them that suggests that's a trend that we need to kind of adapt to moving forward in order to close that.
No, they have a good team. I mean, they right now are on the advantage of a rookie quarterback contract. And, you know, they had some lean years and without getting too much into their build. And, you know, I don't want to suck bad enough to have to get Jamar Chase. Like, he's a heck of a talent. I'd love to have him, but you gotta go through some lean years to do that. And they were able to get Burrow 1, and I don't remember where Chase was drafted, but it was pretty high. Like, and those guys are on their rookie deals. We're paying Stephon Diggs a pretty hefty number. We're paying Josh Allen a pretty hefty number. So there is the constraints of the cap, but they have a really good team, and they got some good young players.
Well, now let me know in the chat, are those excuses? Are those excuses? Shout out to you, Kendricks. Appreciate you. They may be off this may be off topic, but do you see us making moves? We're gonna get right to that one. We're gonna get right to that one. All right. So are those excuses for the Buffalo Bills? Right? They got a $43 million quarterback, or is it $45 million quarterback? They got Stephon Diggs. They got Gabe Davis. They drafted a running back, James Cook. They went out there and made moves for Von Miller. The defense was pretty good. Safeties, the DBs are really nice over there. So what are we saying here? Yes, Jamar Chase is a dog. Yes, T. Higgins is nice, right? But what he sent, and then, of course, I can't leave out Joe Burrows, right? Joe Burrows is that dude. Joe is that dude. Joe knows. And I think Joe, believe it or not, he's probably older than Josh Allen. Y'all look it up. He probably older than Josh Allen. He's been in college for 5 years. And he already had continuity in the relationship with Jamar Chase. But those are excuses. But also what he's saying is that you need some weapons around you. Because without weapons, even Aaron Rodgers won't even make it to the playoffs. And he's one of the greatest quarterbacks that you guys been talking about in the chat. He can't even make it to the playoffs. That's just what it is. That's just how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's time to listen to the playmaker. Yeah. But I want to let you guys know that even if you have an elite, it's Josh Allen, elite quarterback, right? Let me know if is Josh Allen an elite quarterback, yes or no? Allen, Jared Thomas says Allen is definitely elite. Well, why do he need more and more weapons? Why do he need more and more opportunities? Why do he need better cast around him? So if we were to flip this thing around and give Josh Allen, CeeDee Lamb, Noah Brown, Michael Gallup, would that be enough weapons for him? And if you were to flip it around and give us Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, would that be enough weapons for us? Josh Allen is an elite. Why he couldn't? What why he couldn't put up more than 10 points. I need to know. I want to know. Cody says, if we can ditch Kellen, give Dak one more chance. I look at it like this. Dak Prescott got 2 more years on his contract. 2 more years. 2 more years. You can't cut him now because you're going to eat $89 million. It'll be insane to cut him now. And he got a no-trade clause on his contract. And then even with trades, even if he were to trade, you got to find a dancing partner too. Those are multiple things that you will have to consider. We are still running Garrett's crap offense. Look at the Niners coaching. Moore sucks. Dak has problems. This is from Rick. And you, my friend, brilliant person, you understand it. You know, simple math is when you're trying to solve the problem. Let's all agree. Dak Prescott, let's all agree. If Dak Prescott is the main problem, you got 2 years to work out that main problem. You can't do nothing about that problem now. It's nothing you can do outside of cry and moan. I won't go say the B word, but moan about it, right? So my philosophy is, if you're locked in with Dak Prescott for 2 years, there's nothing you can do about him and his contract, right? There's nothing you can do about it. You definitely don't want to approach him and say, hey, let's renegotiate that contract. Let's do this and do that, because all it's going to do is stretch out the contract and expand it even longer, right? So if you have your reservations on it, which I truly believe they do, because they allowed this picture to be posted in public so that everybody can say, he's the reason why we lost this game. He is the ultimate reason why. And if you go back and look at all of the episodes that's on Cowboys.com, that's around the talking heads, they can go back and they can go over line for line and say, you know what? The offensive coordinator, he presented these plays. Your boy got to execute those plays. Just like last night when we was talking on the final word. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If the wide receiver half-assed the route, Dak Prescott better not throw it that way. He better not read that way. He better not be late for that ball or late to that route, because it's ultimately his fault. And then when I was telling people, I couldn't get it off last night because y'all was so hatreds. Y'all was so one-sided of looking at it only from Dak Prescott's eyes that he's trash. That's what y'all want to say. Y'all want me to say, what y'all want me to say is Dak Prescott is trash. Dak Prescott is horrid. Dak Prescott is worthless. That's what y'all want me to say, right? I didn't call Gallup trash or worthless at all, nor Dak. But what I was saying is that Dak can't throw that ball there, but also Michael Gallup can't run that route. But y'all are so fixated on hating the quarterback that y'all disregard everything else I said. And then y'all go back and y'all say that look what Kurt Warner said. But there's no evidence of Kurt Warner winning a Super Bowl with the host of weapons that we have. Torrey Holt would never ran a route. He would never ran a route like Gallup just did. Isaac Bruce would never. Put it like this. Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt, are they on the levels of our wide receivers now? It's a simple yes or no. Are they on the level? Would Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, ran a route like Michael Gallup just did? So there's no way of explaining that. There's no way of explaining that. And people fail to realize that. Kurt Warner was so great and so wonderful with Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce that they said, no, we can get rid of you. They bring up Mark Bozier. You know what I'm saying? But people that don't understand and follow football will only think that was Kurt Warner. Never understood the host of weapons that he had. And then when those boys got injured, Kurt Warner was off. They got rid of him. Why? Why? Because maybe the wide receiver fault. Y'all go back and go watch tape. And then when he went to the Cards, those are 2 Hall of Famer wide receivers. Go back and look. He took the Cards to the Super Bowl. But who do we have on this level, since y'all want to speak truths? Who do we have on this level of Anquan Bolden and Larry Fitzgerald right now? I'm waiting. Would Larry Fitzgerald run a route like Michael Gallup just ran? Would Anquan Bolden run a route like Michael Gallup just did? Those are not excuses. Those are not excuses. Jay, how you say your name? Those are facts. Those are facts. If they were not facts, then show me the game that Kurt Warner took wide receivers to the Super Bowl that don't have those names. That's not a Larry Fitzgerald. Let me know. I got $1,000 that I can put on the table right now that he took a team to the Super Bowl without Isaac Brooks and Torrey Holt. I'll wait. I'll wait. You can't find him going to the Super Bowl with the Noah Browns of the world. A guy coming off of an ACL tear. You can't find me that. But people will have the Mandela effect and say, hey, man, this dude got a gold jacket. But nobody can find me the tape. The only quarterback, just like my dude said, that's doing this without premier wide receivers is Pat Mahomes. And even he still got a guy by the name of Travis Kelce. He's no one to sneeze at. And see, Mark, you missing the boat. I know you just go back to work somewhere. I'm not comparing Dak Prescott to Kurt Warner. I'm comparing Kurt Warner analysis to what a wide receiver should do, juxtaposed to what Torrey Holt or Isaac Bruce would have done, or Larry Fitz, or Anquan Bolden. I know you rode the short bus, but that's okay.
This thing a turn. But you know what, man? It was right there. That's what makes it so hard. I almost rather you just blew us out and put us out of our misery. Now you got to go through the whole season and say, man, if that would have just seen T.Y. or just one play here, one play there could have made a huge difference. You could have still been in part of the Final Four. Man, it's just, yeah. It's been hard.
So what we have learned, we've learned many things from you, but one of the things is maybe you have a little insight when you know something's up. Maybe if a receiver's leaving town. Maybe if there's going to be a draft pick made. Jerry, he canceled on us yesterday. Steven was not on Monday. Do you think anything major could be up?
Oh boy, you saying major in what way? As far as somebody coming or somebody getting let go here? Which way you're talking? Because both ways, I'm expecting us to experience in this offseason.
You're expecting something major coming and going?
Well, yeah. Well, there's no doubt we needed something else in that game. We needed something else offensively. We needed one more pop, to help us some kind of way. Somebody making some more plays. It seemed like every play there were plays there for us to make in that game against San Francisco that it just didn't happen. Look at me. Trayvon Diggs, the ball hits him in the hands. It was a ricochet ball, a tip ball. It was hard to catch, but you missed those plays. There were so many plays we left on the field that it makes you leave kind of angry, saying, "Man, we'd have just made those plays," because this was the perfect machine right here. San Fran was a perfect machine. If you would have beaten San Fran, man, it could have been. Oh my God, it could have been incredible.
Should the Cowboys explore an upgrade or change at quarterback?
We say that as if it's like going to the store and putting down some money and paying for candy.
Right.
Oh my gosh, bro! I can't wait for the day, boy. I can't wait for the day. If the Joneses want to make a splash, breaking news: Kellen Moore has been relieved of his duties. I don't see that's an option. I don't see that's an option. I salute to my dog. I salute to my dog. Boss Cowboy. We had a team to go 8-8, 8-8, 8-8, and we awarded the team with a contract extension of the coach, and we paid the quarterback. So all of those games, we went 8-8, 8-8, 8-8. The final games in all of those games, you win the game, you in the playoffs, right? There are more stipulations upon this team of going to the playoffs, being 12-5, 12-5 with a one playoff win, that there are more stipulations that this team have regressed or doom and gloom juxtaposed to those teams that went 8-8, 8-8, 8-8. But what everybody with short-term memory, they don't remember when you end. So what happened here is that a third of the Cowboy Nation thinks that Jerry Jones done changed. Jerry Jones did not change his approach. There were callings for Kellen Moore last year to be the coach of Boise, the school that he went to in college. I think he's 50-1 or something like that. He only lost one game at Boise. And the Jones family stood tall and said, hey, we're going to give you this money. The only way Kellen Moore leaves this facility if he takes another job at Carolina somewhere, Texans, Denver. And I don't foresee that happening. If it do, then it'll be news to us or Arizona. So I don't think that they will be willing to say, hey, we'll fall on the sword. They would say, hey, the quarterback is the issue. Now, my thing is, you got the quarterback that's been the issue because none of this stuff, we don't see the offensive coordinator. We see the quarterback. I'm hearing the quarterback. He's the one that lost this game, not the offensive coordinator. So the Cowboys are in a pickle. They are in a situation. Do they, A, move on from Kellen Moore, or B, put more weapons around Dak Prescott? 9 times out of 10, if they're wise, they'll put more weapons around Dak Prescott and say, all right, let's see what we can do. Since they refused to get rid of Kellen Moore. They resilient. That was the message before the game, resilient. So they would go back and say, hey, I would prefer to fight it out. See, get rid of both of them. And that would be irrational. It would be irrational, right? You get rid of that's a big check that you're gonna have to cash. The real response, the reasonable within reason, would be put more weapons around your quarterback. That would be within reasons to do. Because you got 2 years. Now, you can bench your quarterback and just say, okay, we'll rip the Band-Aid off and just lean only on Cooper Rush, re-sign Cooper Rush, and say, hey, man, when he was here, we were 4-1. Who want that? When we was here, it's equivalent to that. I think this is what my guys said about it. West Coast, we were live yesterday.
Cowboys have a major decision they need to make, and that is this. Are you going to go all in on Dak Prescott as your quarterback, or are you going to go all in as Kellen Moore as your offensive coordinator? Because the two of them do not favor each other. The reason being is because Dak needs an offensive coordinator that understands that a large part of his game is what? His ability to use his feet and his athleticism, right? Then on the other hand, think about this. Kellen Moore, who comes from Scotland, think about this. Kellen Moore comes from Scott Linehan's tree. He don't come from Jason Garrett. If Scott Linehan came from Jason Garrett, he would run the ball. You want to know why? Because even in the season when Jason Garrett had won 4 games, he had a running back that had 1,000 yards. Darren McFadden had 1,004 yards in the season we won 4 games. You know what I'm saying? So Jason ran that ball. I said the Dallas Cowboys have a...
Yeah. That's a big, tall task. That's the dilemma. You know, I mean, what you gonna do? I wouldn't cut my whole leg off. And I would never agree to one of those other contracts, too. No trade clause. Because if he didn't have the trade clause on that contract, then you can say, okay, we can shop Dak Prescott around. Let's put fillers out there. Maybe we can get 2/3, 2 seconds, a first and a third. You know, maybe we can will and deal that way and roll with the punches. A coach, you can have a coach for 30 years, right? Players are only limited. Kellen Moore can be here for 30 years. Who's signing up for that? Speaking of that, I see he's about to put Zeke in there, you know. Let's bring this one up. Because my guy, West Coast was on some points. He was on some money talk the other day. Let's listen to this one.
If you're thinking that Zeke's contract has to do something with Tony Pollard's, then you're crazy. Because the Dallas Cowboys said a long time, Jerry Jones said, we go as far as Zeke take us, right? Now, obviously, playoffs, run game wasn't there. Not even that it wasn't there. We didn't even attempt to try to do it. He only had 10 carries. And think about this. When Tony Pollard went out of the game, he only had 4 carries. We did not go into this game with the mindset of running the ball. Think about this. When Tony Pollard got hurt, anybody want to guess how many carries Malik Davis got? 0. So you know what that means? There was never a mindset to run the damn ball, or at least the backup guy. Because think about this. If you were going to run the ball coming into this game, why didn't Malik Davis at least get Tony Pollard's carries that he was supposed to get?
Man, my goodness, man. It had me scratching my head. All right. When we talk about formula and we talk about philosophies on winning the game, I'm on record saying that I want this quarterback to throw the ball 24 to 27 attempts. Did we do that? I want us to establish the run. Did we do that? Well, Law, you can't run on the Niners. Bull sugar. You can't run when you don't attempt to run. And when it's in shotgun. We don't, when my guy West Coast was talking about that this offensive coordinator and Dak Prescott don't match. It's literally, they don't match. It's oil and water. Oil and water. So what we're doing is continuing doing the exact same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Why? Because at some point you can see that, yes, the offense do work. But when the defense figure out your collections of plays and there's really no scheme to it, we flatline. And now everything, the onus will be upon this particular quarterback. We can't establish the run out of shotgun. But we definitely seen the 49ers establish the run, made things comfortable for their quarterback, a rookie quarterback. And they got a system put in place. Law, do you have any truth to this? I'm glad that I stayed live all through the season. There was a third of you guys gloating, keying, saying, oh no, the 49ers done lost Trey Lance. And I said, they're in the system anyway. When you have a system that matches your scheme, it doesn't matter who their quarterback is. Watch, they're going to win games. They had Jimmy Garoppolo. They won a few games. Jimmy G went down. And y'all was all commenting in my box over here, oh, man, the Niners are done. Jimmy G went down. And I said, watch. I want y'all to go back and watch my video. They are in a scheme, in a system. It doesn't matter. When your system and scheme is hitting from a philosophy that it can't be stopped, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is because they're going to do things that's fitting their system and scheme. It doesn't matter who their running back is, it's going to still fit their system and scheme. But to put them over the top, yes, they went and got CMC because they utilized CMC not just as a, hear me out, not just as a running back, but your slot guy. People fail to realize within the spells of times of when they went to go get CMC, Debo went down. And people were still hitting me up, law. The Niners are in trouble. No, they got a scheme in place. The Cowboys don't have a scheme in place. Would you put more weapons around Dak to encourage Kellen Moore to take the Carolina job? I would put more weapons around Dak to encourage Kellen Moore to take the Carolina job. How can I put this? The Carolina job would be a job that Kellen Moore would take only if Jerry Jones give him his blessings. People fail to realize when Jason Garrett was on his way out, I think Jason Garrett had that Ravens job in the bag. I think it was the Ravens. But he didn't have the blessings from Jerry. Jerry said, look, hold on. I got your money. You're going to be the next coach in waiting. So it'll be based upon Jerry if Carolina really want to, if you really want to take that job. Gilberto says, Law, we give Dak more weapons, more will forget about the run game and it exhausts our defense. Yeah, that is a double conundrum. But that's the lesser of two evils. That's the lesser of two evils, though. Because here's the thing. Here's our problem. Here's our problem with Kellen Moore. And I'm not shanking the man with the butter knife. Write this down. I think that he's a brilliant offensive coordinator, but he's young. This was his fourth year. Next year will be his fifth year ever calling plays. So I'm quite sure he will grow and excel in a few things. By year 10, he probably be moonwalking on water. Backwards and frontwards. But we have to go through the growing pains. We have to learn that, hey, this dude, there's people right now watching me talk that forgot more football than Kellen Moore knows. There's a peer-to-peer coaching situation. So if you think that, put it like this, and this just hit me, I got to tell you guys this. If we can see the flaws in Kellen Moore's approach to the game on a basic level, what the hell is he teaching Dak Prescott? Dak Prescott needs stern coaching. He needs somebody that got more knowledge than him. If you are the smartest person in the room, go find another room, right? That's old sayings. But it will be hard for me to digest the fact that, hey, Kellen Moore, if he's so brilliant and he was so immaculate and smart, I ain't going to go there. Spitting facts today. Appreciate you, Cody. Thank you for your support, man. Thank you. It don't matter when you are the smartest person in the room, and if I was the person to advance in front of you, whatever you say, I'm going to only take it lightly. Because I'm going to say, yeah, you were smart. No, but, look at me. You know what I'm saying? I'm over you. Hey, you only going to take it like water on a duck's back. It's going to roll off of you, what they saying. But if you bring in someone else that can say, hey, I told you to climb the pocket, go through your progressions, hit this receiver. I don't care what's in your face. I need that ball to be there. But don't butt me. We're not getting these type of coaching. Life crazy. Let's be real. Jerry, look at the Bengals, went to the Super Bowl, now in the championship with potentials to go again. And also, Catboy, we have to use to spend the money. Yeah, but the difference is with Cincinnati, they relinquished their owner who had his hands on. And now if the Cincinnati go back-to-back Super Bowl, shoot, Jerry going to have to second-guess what he's been doing. Because the owner from over there used to be just like Jerry, had his hands in the mixing bowl all the time. But I appreciate you.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You don't put Dak out of it. You don't get rid of Dak talking about let's just go and look for another. There have been teams out there looking for quarterbacks for 25 years, 30 years. No, you don't get rid of quarterback saying let's find another. Now, if you stumble on another one, then you come back and look at getting rid of this one. But you don't move that kind of way in the NFL and talk about having success. So if people are saying that, shut the hell up. You don't know what you're talking about.
Let the playmaker tell y'all one more time. You know what I'm saying? Let him tell y'all one more time because y'all know more football than him. But let him say it one more time. Let me rewind.
You don't move that kind of way in the NFL and talk about having success. So if people are saying that, shut the hell up. You don't know what you're talking about. You're going to put us in a bigger hole than we already in. At least we're in the fight right now. You're going to have us out of the fight. Just shut up. Enjoy it. But don't talk football. Just enjoy it.
Michael Irvin Joyce here, 105 through the Fan. Let me play devil's advocate with you here. All right. Just look at the 7 teams in the playoffs in the AFC.
Stop letting Brock Purdy fool you. Stop.
Oh, no. I'm not letting Brock Purdy fool me. Oh, no.
Okay, don't get caught up in that.
All 7 AFC teams, with the exception of Baltimore, drafted their current quarterback in the top 10. Like, I'm not saying what I'm saying is it okay to say, you know what? We're going to take a step back. We're going to trade Dak for some picks. Then we're going to trade up in the draft. And we're going to take a quarterback in the top 5 of the draft. We're going to find a way to get up there and then go. And then take a shot at getting Burrow or Mahomes or Allen or whatever.
Dog, that sounds good to the ear gate, but it doesn't really happen in reality like that. First of all, you can get up in the top 5. Don't mean you don't get no quarterback. The only time you can guarantee getting a quarterback is you get all the way to number 1. You can get all the way up in the top 5 and not have what you need or not get the right quarterback. It's just so much, man. You can't play that kind of game. You can't play that kind of game if you got a viable quarterback. And you got a quarterback that has given you the number 1 offense in back-to-back seasons. You're going to get rid of him. Stop. Don't let your emotions make you make a temporary decision on a permanent thing or make you make a temporary dumb decision that's going to bring us permanent pain.
Emotional damage.
All right. Let the playmaker continue to talk, man.
Michael, do the Cowboys have the right weapons, I guess, at receiver right now? Is Michael Gallup, after the season, a guy that can be a legitimate number 2 moving forward, or do they have to look at bolstering the receiving core?
All right. Before he answered this, I haven't heard his interview, but I got to say this. We have to have the mindset to know, and I'm going to say this once again, that Michael Gallup was coming back from an ACL. It's excuses. But I like the way my guy West Coast said, excuses are facts that you don't want to hear. Right? Excuses are facts that you don't want to hear. And the fact of the matter is the dude was coming back from an ACL, and the expectation from fans were, hey, he was going to be exactly how he was before the injury. Law, stop the excuses. No, those are facts. Understanding what you got and what you're going to get out of it. You don't go buy the Prius and say, hey, I want it to look like the Ferrari. I want it to drive like the Ferrari. No, it's only going to be to the level that what it is. I'll never forget one of my cars that I had was a 1995 Honda Civic, a 4-cylinder car. You can't get me to jump in a 4-cylinder car now because I know its limitations. But for dog sure, when I had said car, I was not trying to match it up with an 8-cylinder car or a 6-cylinder car. I used it for within the confines of what I needed to get it done with that particular car. It was a college car. I love that car. It got me to Hines Community College, finished up my 2 years there, and it took me all the way to JSU. I love the Honda Civic, baby. Over 300,000 miles. It did its purpose. But I knew, I had the notion to know that when I'm going to a long trip with all of those miles on it, and I'm going to have some of my boys with me, that is a 2-door, we're going to either put money down on it or rent this car. But what y'all trying to do with Dak Prescott, I don't know what kind of car he is. If y'all want to call him a Honda or a Hyundai, or if you want to call him a 6-cylinder Altima, the main sports edition, he ain't the F-150, but utilize him to the best of your capacity or his capacity. But don't buy the car to do truck responsibilities and don't buy the truck to do car responsibilities. And that is one of the major issues. We got Zeke, who would be considered F-150, and we try to finesse him like a Lambo. We got Pollard, and we'll say, hey, man, we'll just keep that car in the garage all last year. And this year, okay, let's tune it up a little bit. Contract year. You're going to use him up for his contract year, right? Hey, man, I got this box Chevy, man. What box Chevy that is? Oh, it's MG13. That box Chevy nice. You know what I mean? You got to be careful on that, man. Yeah. Carburetor engine. You know what I mean? You know. But so many people are so limited with their knowledge of the sport that they try to utilize something the wrong way. Just like I got Ivory. It is in his end. Well, that can't throw. Well, he can throw just enough to win you games. But also, he can throw just enough to lose your game. So you're going to have to find a parameter on how to build around that. Just like with any other team. We just talked about Josh Allen. The man can throw the ball 80 yards with the flick of his wrist. But it don't mean a hill of beans if you don't still put weapons around that. He's an elite quarterback. He's at the couch watching, just like we are. And you know what the Eagles did? They said, you know what? We got this nice automobile. We went 9-8 with this particular automobile. But let's not take away from that because we saw some potentials in that. Let's get rid of Jalen Reagor, right? Let's add some more weaponry to it. Let's put a cool air intake on it. You know, let's put some more adjustable run flat wheels on it. Let's put a reinforcement bumper on it. Let's add to said product. It may not have the best oil because there's nobody in this chat that can say, yeah, man, Hurts got a good oil, man. That dude he can hit it on a dime, baby. No. Hurts don't throw like Josh Allen, nor he throw like Pat Mahomes. He's not in that tier. But instead of sullying and denigrating him and casting him out, let's put more and more weapons around him. Let's go get an A.J. Brown. We saw what he did with Ryan Tannehill. Well, we know that our guy is a little bit more athletic than Ryan Tannehill, and we know that we got Devontae Smith over there, who will be in his second year. Let's not put all of the pressure on him. He's a first-round draft pick. But what the Cowboys would have done is say, hey, since he is a first-round draft pick, we don't need anybody else to be inserted with him. Y'all don't understand it. Boy, y'all don't understand it. So, heart to heart, for the Eagles fans that's in here. And yes, he's on his rookie contract, Jalen Hurts. But when Dak was on his rookie contract, did they do the same? No. Nevertheless, that's how I win that argument all the time. But nevertheless, Eagles fans that's watching, if you so happen to watch right now, would you guys still have the record that you have without A.J. Brown, without going into the offseason, making moves and putting things in place, or getting the Bradbury, or going out there getting Hassan Reddick, making sure that you're willing and dealing. All of the willing and dealing that they did helped to propel their team. Now, when it's time to pay their guys, there shouldn't be a long conversation. There should be, okay, we already paid you, Dallas Goedert. We didn't even hesitate. We didn't bat an eye. We believed in you. AJ, man, we got $100 million. Is $100 million worth it now? Yeah. It wasn't the same for Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper got here midway through the season. We were 3-5. That was our last chance. And then when it was time to pay him, they were like, we already drafted the guy, by the way, you know. We're going to draft the guy. You know what, Amari Cooper, we will allow you to test the market and then come back with a price. And then Washington said, shoot, the Cowboys, shoot, y'all see what Amari Cooper did to us? We will sign them. Yes, we will give you money. We will give you the coins. And then Amari Cooper, off of his good conscience, said, you know what? I like it over here in Dallas. I would take less money. The brother take less money. And y'all still smeared that man's name. Y'all still said that the man was horrid, not a team player. Trash. Y'all do that. Y'all tear up y'all own anyway. A third of the fan base will tear up y'all own anyway. Tyron Smith, he's trash. The man signed a 10-year contract. Look at his contract stretched out over all of those years, taking the hometown discount. But y'all don't respect that. And then y'all send the dude, Amari Cooper, because he didn't want to take the shot to Siberia. You know, let me send it to Siberia. To the land of Cleveland.
There's no doubt we need help there. There's no doubt. This isn't as bad as when we first asked Dak to go at it, you know, with the Hearns and all of those receivers before we brought in Amari Cooper. That thing was looking bad. You know what I mean? And Amari Cooper came in and solidified. Of course, then we came back to draft CeeDee Lamb. So we bolstered it up. But, yes, we need more help there. We need more help, more guys that can
really?
More consistently. You drop a level, not because of – you drop a level because of consistency of play. You know, the number one receiver, it has to be the most consistent receiver on the football field. When we come to you, we want to win 90% of the time. Number two receivers, maybe we win a little bit less. Number 3 receiver, you'll win a little bit less. That's how it goes. How dependable, how reliable, how consistent are you will determine if you're 1, 2, or 3. And the answer is yes. We need more help after 1.
Michael, when you look,
So he said that they need more help after the number 1 is CeeDee Lamb. For references, is Gallup comparable to an Alvin Harper? I guess you can say when healthy, right? Y'all let me know in the chat. You know, if we're going all the way back, that's over 30 years ago, but that's the only way I can kind of bridge the information over to you guys. When healthy, you can, but not coming off of an ACL. It's like mixed messages, huh? William and Dion, yes, no, yeah, no. Israel says no. A lot of people says no. Okay. Kind of mixed, though. You know, when healthy, Michael Gallup may be. I'm expecting Michael Gallup to turn the corner next season. Coming off of an ACL, not being able to, these are facts that people don't want to accept, so they're going to call them excuses. But he didn't play in preseason, and he wasn't out here in Oxnard in training camp. He's recovering. He's not injured. He's recovering. So there should be a dip off, right? But what I don't want you guys to do, if the Cowboys decide to pay Tony Pollard, for you guys to say, all right, well, why he ain't the same? Well, shoot, he's coming off of an injury. He's coming off of an injury. What you expect? So you have to have the levels of expectation that you may lose some explosiveness if you re-sign even Tony Pollard. Oh my God, Milton says Dak and a second-round pick for Lamar. All right. Reports out that Lamar wants Deshaun Watson's contract, and he refused to sign the other contract for $119 guaranteed. He wants $200 million guaranteed. He wants north of what Deshaun Watson just got from Cleveland. So I was telling people that Deshaun Watson contract kind of muddied the waters because it throws off the open market. Are you willing? Because this is the thing. Dak Prescott got to agree to go to Ravens land, right? And then they got to agree to pay Dak. And then the Cowboys front office got to agree to pay Lamar with those guarantees. I don't know when the last time Lamar finished the season completely healthy. And can somebody put down Lamar Jackson playoff records? Because in Dallas, you are going to be graded not by the games you win in the regular season. Now it's games that you win in the playoffs. And it's been hard. Y'all fail to realize it's been hard for us to go back-to-back playoff appearances. That's the hardest thing. I done had people hit me up, trolls hit me up. Hey, man, Brock Purdy got just as amount of wins, of playoff wins than Tony Romo and Dak. You know what I'm saying? They both got 2. You know what I'm saying? Rick Charlton said, think about it. The last QB we've had, Landry picked him. Dak is fine. A bus driver. It's a fine bus driver. Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Burrows, or Rodgers. We shall see again. We'll see that they can't. We'll see that they can't. I feel you, Rick. I feel you. I feel you what you're saying. Thank you for your support. All right, there you go.
Look specifically at the game plan that they came into there with San Francisco. I felt like San Francisco had vulnerabilities where you could push the ball downfield, you could take advantage of some things. Lot was underneath. I wasn't thrilled with it. How did you think about Kellen's game plan in this game specifically and the prospects of going into next year with Kellen as the offensive coordinator again?
I thought there was sometimes sometimes with somebody or some teams very good, you can fool yourself into thinking how great you can make this team greater in your mind than they really are on the field. Like in that game right there, I would have liked to have slowed that game down. That second interception Dyke threw that came off CeeDee Lamb, it was 2nd and 2. Why are we throwing that ball right there? Hand that ball off on 2nd and 2. You know what I mean? And you let's hand it off. Let's see. Let's keep trying to work it. That's what I gave this hit 'em and cut 'em analogy that Rocky IV gave with that Ivan Drago had with Rocky IV. Rocky IV caught him. He didn't run from him. He took some hits, but he played. He caught him with a nice hook that said, "Oh man, you cut him. He's human. He bleeds." That's what we're down to 2nd and 2, and I know we're already in field goal range. Man, you hand that ball off and do some pounding right here. Let's start putting the ball in there. I thought they felt like Dak had to win this game. As we forgo the running game, let's just let Dak win this football game because nobody can run on Cincinnati. They only gave up 70 yards a game running. They even gave up 60 at home, and they were playing this game at home. So we capitulated something that I didn't think we should have capitulated.
Michael Irvin here on The Fan. How are you viewing the futures of Zeke and Tony Pollard?
All right, so he said Cincinnati. I think he meant 49ers, but I think you could have still ran on those boys if you committed and make commitment to the run. You know, when you young, you try to hurry up and do things so quickly. Try to rush into it, right? There's none of this slow foreplay to it. There's no wine and dine moment. There's no allowing the music to resonate the moment. You know, it's all rushing. Like, I need to get it. I need to get it right now. Right? But sometimes you got to just allow things to come to you. So many people are on the hunt. And there's ways that you can attack these things. Cast your web, sit tight, and allow your prey to come to you. You know, so the Cowboys were so rushing. Oh, we want to throw the ball. We want to throw the ball. You make this a long game. Physicality wins the game. You can't be rushing it. Can't rush it. Fellas, don't rush it. If she's already agreeing to come back to the house, you won. Don't rush it. She's already agreeing to come to your house. Have your stuff laid. Have it smelling good. Don't have stuff all over the floor. Have the wine glass already in the right spot with the chill. Put some Kim on. I can't stop loving you. And by the time, girl, she gonna be on you. But if you rushing, you know what I'm saying, to the window, to the wall, she will let me do crazy. He got drawers all over the floor. It stank up in here. The wine ain't even chill. Slow and steady wins the race. Wine and dine, you know what I mean? Have some smell. Yeah, don't have too much Nobles, you know. Don't have too much smell good, but just have it just a faint smell, just serenading the mood, the lights. Don't have it too bright and don't have it too dim. Just right. Just right, fellas. Just right. Don't rush it, Kelly Moore. All we had to do where you was in control right before the second half. You were in control. Dak, if that was your options, you second it too. You got to understand, man, it's time for me to finesse now. If anything, the minimum score should have been 3 from us. If anything, your guy just got hurt, Tony Pollard. It's 2nd and 2. It's not time for me to hurry up and throw the ball. That's on Dak. Y'all hear me? That's on Dak. That's on Dak. And that's on Kelly Moore. Like I gave the analogy the other day. Kellen Moore is the type of father that sit the kid down and put the gun and the knife at the table, and the kid is 6 or 7 years old, and say, hey, pick one. No. Terrible parenting. Don't have those as options. Going empty on 2nd and 2, unless that should have been a draw play for Dak Prescott, should have been taken out. You gonna milk clock. I'm playing greedy. When I'm playing dominoes, if we playing fours, if I'm not winning, I'm for dog sure ain't gonna let the person that I'm covering win. All right, man, Law, you playing some stingy bones. Well, I'm the glove today, man. I'm Gary Payton today. I ain't letting you get none off, and we ain't counting fives. Hey, man, why you shut me out? Well, if I'm losing, you gonna lose with me. I for dog sure ain't getting up off the table, because whoever got the lowest score lose, get up off the table. I'm playing to stay my ground. And then don't let me get domino. If I'm getting domino, hey, man, I got to keep domino. Why you holding on? No, I had to get that out of my hand. I'm trying to keep domino. Getting them doubles out of my hand. Hey, 5-5, don't keep domino. Yeah, but I got 10. And I ain't going to tell you what else I got over here. Dominicio, you know what I'm saying? But that's me playing with the lead. But when I'm down, I'm looking around. I said, all right, I'm playing some strong defense. Y'all play some dominoes over there. I see y'all. Shout out to Palisade. Shout out to Jackson State, baby. If anything, you're going to learn how to play some dominoes when you're at JSU.
and that, you know what, Sean, that's another thing that made me mad. I don't want that. If that is, and there's a very good chance it may be with all the way things have gone, the last play that Ezekiel Elliott plays in a Dallas Cowboy uniform, and you put him at center, and you put that bad play. It's the worst. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to see that. I was like, man, I don't give a damn. Pick a knee and lose the game. Yeah. Don't run no play like that. Don't even do it. Now we
don't
got
put bad tape.
We ended 2 playoff runs with 2 plays that will be on bloopers.
Yeah,
they'll be on bloopers. I mean, it's one thing to lose, but don't insult me on the loss on the way out the door. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's embarrassing, man. Because what can happen 5 years from now, 10 years from now, somebody can take that highlighted clip of a tape and put it out there without context and say, hey, look at the Cowboys, look at Zeke. That's why you got to get rid of the offensive coordinator, in my opinion. Dak played terrible. And if it wasn't for contracts, I would be, look, Law Nation is saying it, I'll be shopping him. I'll be shopping him around, said, hey, I got him on the market. But due to the contract, you gotta deal with him now. People fail to realize that about Law. I'm not saying you keep him. But based upon his contract, there's nothing you can do about it but build around it. I'm not finna be sitting here crying for 2 years because we got Dak Prescott. I'm the one that's saying that, sure, I'm so sick and tired of most of y'all that's watching right now. I wish I could have a time machine and I go into the time machine and say, hey, man, go just draft Paxton Lynch. Get it out the way. So I can stop hearing all of these whinies, fans crying, about that. How you like Paxton? Huh? You like that? Texas Angler. Why do you think about what do you think? I can't read today. What do you think about Diggs' tackling problem and him letting Kittles catch the ball? He could have easily hit Diggs. He could have easily hit Diggs and made him drop the ball, or hit Kittles and made him drop the ball, plus Diggs dropping the interception. Hold Diggs accountable. This is Texas. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for the support. Shout out to my guy, Big A James, but he said the Cowboys like the 85 Bears. I'm just joking with James. But the defense overall, they played it solid enough for us to win that game. 6 points were given to the opposing team based upon turnovers, what have you. And then if we look at the missing opportunities, we can look at it more so that the offense stunk it up more so than the defense. Could Diggs make better plays? Yes. Do I want Diggs to make better plays? Yes. But what I'm saying about Diggs is we tried to so much change his skill set to do something that he's not. He's thinking, it's scrambled. Scrambling mind was out there saying, I got to hit this dude. Oh, I don't want to hit this dude at the last minute. So he dived with his eyes closed and he missed him. But if the old school Diggs from 2021, he would have been literally only looking for the INT. But the fan base, we are so powerful with our words, it trickulates. It goes down to their minds. And I know we want to say, well, hey, these guys got to be mentally tough. Well, the Cowboys got to be the most mentally tough team in the National Football League, because if it's not for the Cowboys, you would only thought that they played and lost this past weekend, and nobody else lost. They ain't talking about nobody else but the Cowboys. They still talking about it, I'm quite sure. On all of those talk shows, they talking about the Dallas Cowboys. They're not talking about anybody else. And who missed such and such and who missed a tackle. So I feel you, though. Yeah, Diggs got to play better. But let's stop changing him and let him just be him. Yes, we want him to come down and field, but Diggs, you're a cover corner. You cover. You cover stuff. And I know I'm a Diggs apologist now, right? I believe Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott are too close in age, and Kellen Moore does not have the experience to help Prescott get to the next level, baby. That's what I've been saying, baby. Yeah. Burnett, baby. Peer-to-peer coaching. Peer-to-peer coaching. That's all I'm saying. Yes, indeed. Peer-to-peer coaching.
Take a knee and concede right there. Then to come up with some play where you put guards and tackles out wide, like you're going to catch a ball and they're going to be able to run downfield, set up. I don't even know what that was. It was embarrassing to watch.
I mean, we asked for unique. We asked for unique, and we got it.
Yeah, unique is stupid as another. Ignorant as another. And that was all of the latter.
Yeah.
Stupid and ignorant. I don't know what it was, but it was bad.
Michael, power rank the Final Four. I think I remember you months ago loving Cincinnati, and now people are looking at them as the favorites in this game because of the Mahomes injury. So who's your Super Bowl favorite, and how you just look?
There is one other participant in the conference. Please announce yourself.
Darius, turn me down. Turn your radio down. Turn your radio down. You're live, Darius.
Okay. Is the audio good?
I'm still hearing reverb.
Is that good?
No, I'm still hearing myself. Your reverb.
What's it?
Appreciate you though, man. Appreciate you, Darius, man. I thank you though, dog. We're gonna have to get back with you. We got Cam. Whoa, Cam, you live.
Man, what it do, Law? What it do?
Nothing
I know
to
you ain't heard from me.
I know, man.
You ain't heard from me in 2 days, Law.
Yo, it's been 2 days, man. What's good, man? Talk to me, man.
But this thing, I'm currently at work doing a double. But this is what I'm gonna say, Law.
Talk to me, man.
Understand that I was upset to the fullest. I hung up. I would have stayed all the way up to 1. I would have came back on the Jan now, but I was upset. The reason why I was upset, I had to set Brandon straight in the conference call. You know, 'cause they was down there. They ain't there all night, and he was like, "CD Lamb is not a number 1 quarterback." And like I had to tell him, look at CeeDee Lamb numbers compared to what our other receivers did that night. I said CeeDee Lamb had 100-some yards, cracked 1,400 yards for this season. And I told him, I said, look at it. CeeDee Lamb wouldn't even get him many targets and stuff when it came to Cooper Rush playing when he played in those 5 games. I said, that show you that CeeDee Lamb has showed y'all that he's the number 1 receiver. I said, those other receivers, you have to get in check. So now what they have to do now is they have to go off CeeDee Lamb. Whatever CeeDee Lamb say in their wide receiver room, y'all need to listen. Why? Because he's doing what he has to do to help us win. Gallup, you have to step up. T.Y., I don't put too much on you, but once you put on that uniform, you're now Dallas Cowboys, and we expect nothing but the best. But you kind of can get away with your performance. But Schultz, you have to play better. If we had Ferguson out there, I feel like we would have won more. Dak, you have to go out there. You have to be consistent, because the thing is, when the ball leaves that quarterback hand, it's on that quarterback.
It's his baby. It's his baby, man. I feel you though, Cam. I thank you for calling in though. Yeah, I feel you on your points with that. Go. One more.
And I want to say one more thing. I want to say, am I mad? Yes. But I'm still a Dallas Cowboys fan to the day I die. But we have to get better. And I think it was a step forward that we broke a 30-year thing of winning at least a playoff game to show what we can be. We just need more pieces in the draft. Gonna help us with that, and also the free. Also, when we get to able to sign free agents, hope we still can get to that, and maybe we can get Odell, and it probably can help out in some way. But we'll speak on that later on.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you, Cam. Thank you for calling in. That's good. That's a good call from him. All right, so yeah, the name of the game. I get what he said, and here's my problem with all of this. I'm only going to talk about offense. We spend too many times arguing with each other about who we got and who we don't have. Who is the number 1? Who's the number 2? Or is Dak Prescott elite? Or is he average? Or is he just a good quarterback? There's too many wasteful talking. The argument should be, all right, this is what we got. This is what we got. And how do we improve with what we got? By adding things around said thing. We get it. Turnover machine, we get it. A one and done, we get it. We get all of that. Can't throw. But what can we do to propel and help this team? How can we make CD better? How can we make the running game better? Instead of saying Zeke is trash, Zeke is washed, Dak is trash, Dak is washed. How can we make this team better? Okay, Kellen Moore, we at odds with him. We seen what he brings to the table. There's no growth aspect. Dak Prescott grew in 2018. Why? Oh, John Kitna. So let's see how we can go back and get another John Kitna. Is Doug Nussmeier, is he the quarterback coach? Yeah. So what the world he's doing, right? Those are things that we have to ask ourselves. I got from the 815, Brandon, you live.
Yeah, what's up, Lau? Hopefully he was talking about another Brandon, because he wasn't talking about me. I don't know who he was talking about. Maybe he was talking about another Brandon. So I'm gonna keep going. Look, I look, like I said, I'm not a Dak fan, but like
right.
Thinking that he's not gonna be a starter next year is a little wishful thinking. Like, it's probably crazy. Like, he gonna be the quarterback.
Okay.
In my personal opinion, I think you need to get pieces around him. And
yeah.
Law, I asked you this like the other day before I got off. Like, I know it'll be easy to say, yeah, let's sign some players. But we got a lot of players on our current roster that we need to resign. One of my question that you can answer, when I get off, do you think we need one of our top players? I'm not gonna say no name. I'm just one of our top players, not the quarterback. Do you think we should try to trade them and get more pieces? Because we need a D tackle. We need another cornerback. We need some young O linemen. Linebacker. Like
No doubt. I'm finna answer that question for you now. I appreciate you for calling in, Brandon. Thank you, man.
Love the show.
Yes,
Love the show.
indeed.
How about them Cowboys?
How about him? All right. So his question is, all right, since we don't have the ability to get rid of Dak Prescott, basically, because he will be the starting quarterback. So how do we get more and more resources over? We're gonna have to get rid of someone that's good and move some pieces around where we are avoided at. If you want to get rid of a player that's not under one of those no trade clause contract, and you will have to live with that. I don't see the Cowboys doing that. And the only people that is tradable in order for you to get multiple good things back in returns are maybe Jordan Lewis, because I think he got one more year out of his contract. You can cut him and you will save about $5 or $6 million, but I don't think the Cowboys would do that. You can put Trayvon Diggs on the trading block and see if a team is willing to give you a first and a second or something along those areas there. But I don't foresee the Cowboys doing that with him nor CeeDee Lamb. Those are the only other guys that you can trade and get something back in return. And that's like shooting yourself in the foot. And the Cowboys primarily don't do those things. Before they trade you, they would like to subtly denigrate you, or you don't fit in within the confines of the system, and you will have to do something like that in order to get traded. And the Cowboys don't do that. And it will be kind of like Lewis said, it'll be crazy. We need DBs. So I would be with the mindset to say, all right, on my defensive side, I got Diggs and I got my guy, Michael Parsons. I'm trying to figure out how to build around that. Yes, Bland had a hell of a year, his rookie season. That's something that we can put on the positive side with this team. Sam Williams, I don't know what they're going to do now since they found out he was going 98 miles per hour in the 50-mile speed zone. But if he had a lawyer like mine, and I know he got more money than me, then we can out-argue that, you know what I'm saying? Because what was used to gauge the speed and when the last time it was calibrated, right? If the police would like to say that, I would like to redact all of that they putting out there on the records. Because there was nobody really, I ain't going to go to the legal aspect of it, but y'all get what I'm saying. But neither here nor there. How do you build around Clark? Do you re-sign LVE? Those are things that they're going to have to answer. Deron Payne, yeah, that would help. Lopez, yes, that will help tremendously. Thank everybody for hitting that stars button over there. Thank y'all. A game. If I were to tell, let me see, let me go. Let me see if I can go back, because I'll be forgetting to read out y'all supers, man, and I really appreciate y'all so much. You know what play I can't get over? This is from Gallery. It's the play where Dak threw the ball to Lamb and T.Y. was open right underneath. Is that on Dak or the OC? I truly believe that play was on Dak Prescott right there. It was on Dak. Hindsight is 20/20 though, and the ball still hit CD in the hands, although it was a well contested throw. Those are things you're gonna have to live and die with. Unfortunately, it's hard to put toothpaste back in the tube. No, I was talking about you, Brandon. Okay, wait a minute. Cam said he was talking about you, Brandon. Maybe we have a wrap up session with you and Brandon. Let me see where we have here. Queen, you're live. Queen Cowboys, you're live. Thank you so much for jumping in.
Hey, Law.
Hey, what's good?
How about them Cowboys?
How about them, baby?
I called because, is there any method that we could use to raise the awareness of the frustration of the fans in reference to the continued existence of Kellen Moore on our team? I think 95%, and I don't have those like percentage stats, but it seems like about 95% of the fans want him to go. And I know Jerry is stubborn and hard-headed and all that kind of stuff. But what do you think we could do as a fan base?
Express it when they're live. When Cowboys.com is live when they do their shows or what have you. Just be in the comment. Kellen must go. Kellen must go. But here's the problem though, Queen. He's been here for 4 years. 3 out of the 4 years that Kellen Moore was here, the Cowboys offense finished number 1 in the National Football League, or top 3 or 4, respectfully, in points and scores, or points and yardage. So if I'm Kellen Moore's defense attorney, I would say, hey, we do finish with the top 5 or top 3 offense. It's just that we're poorly mistaken in these playoff games due to the quarterback. Why the quarterback is not in the room, right? So that's how that operation go. And then if Dak Prescott people were in the room, they'd say, yeah, man, we just finished back-to-back playoffs. We lost, but I improved from one year to the next. We won a playoff game. And I think that the fault is on me. I need to play better, blah, blah, blah. That's the speech that Dak is going to say. Dak won't throw Kellen Moore under the bus, and I don't think that Kellen Moore would throw Dak under the bus. So what will happen here, Queen, is that you're still getting the same thing done, and Dak and Jerry Jones, there's no one that's optimistic as much as Jerry Jones. If you think I'm optimistic, Jerry Jones is way more optimistic than me.
Oh, yeah. Well, my thing is even though we won 12-5, we had 12-5, and we won a playoff game. Regardless of that, there were major areas in our performance in those games on the offense side, mostly from play calling, where we could have been more successful in the season if Kellen had been performing, like he wasn't bipolar. Playing one way this week and one way the next week. And some games that we should have won. But because of the fact that he want to go back to that passing Kellen Moore, we would always lose. Him abandoning the run. And everybody knows this about him. And that's where we get attacked.
That's where we get attacked. But
I don't know.
Queen, it's a conundrum because that is there's no way. Look, we've been, as fans, been banging on the table. I'm quite sure if I were to tell the fans right now that's watching, or the people that's watching right now, do y'all want Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor? I'm quite sure it'd be a 99.9% of the fans would say yes. And what would Jerry say? No. I'm quite sure about 95% of the fans want curtains up at the stadium. And I think that will put us in better situations. But Jerry will say no. Jerry don't listen. You know what I'm saying? He's stubborn. So he may think, look, when we went 8-8, we all knew that Tony Romo had to outperform what the coaching was doing with the spoonful of the information that we had on the field from whatever they was trying to do as it relates to bringing players in. So this same argument been going on, and Jerry refused to listen. I'm quite sure I will go to my grave knowing that if we had Bill Parcells through those stretch of years that we had Jason Garrett, there was a Super Bowl in there. But I appreciate you so much for calling in, Queen.
I have one more question, Laura.
Talk to me.
So when your coordinator gives you a couple of plays, to option to go to, depending on what you see out there on the field, when he gives you those, and then you look around when you're preparing to, hike the ball or whatever, is there really, truly time left for the quarterback to say, we're not going to run either one of those. We need to run this. Is there time and seconds for him to actually do that without, going over the play time?
Yeah.
Going over the clock where you have to start?
Yeah. I don't know, Queen.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but
answer my question.
I understand what you're saying, but I don't think that he would do. I don't think that he would do that though. I don't.
Yeah, but I'm asking, would he actually have time to effectively do that?
I don't think he would have
Within
time.
those 30 seconds.
With those 30 seconds, I don't think he had that type of autonomy, as they say. I don't think he would. No, the answer is no.
No, I mean, would he have that type of time? I'm saying time. Would he have the time to totally change the play?
Dak, you talking about Dak have time to totally change his play? Yeah, within 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That answer is yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He would have time to change the play. But my thing is, here's the layer of onions that even if Dak Prescott changed the play and the offensive coordinator didn't like the play that he changed it to, will the offensive coordinator have the cojones to chastise him about doing such?
He probably wouldn't say nothing if it was successful.
If he was successful, yeah, he wouldn't say anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's just what it is. So it doesn't matter.
It wouldn't matter if he went against what Kellen wanted when it's being successful, because I believe Dak can come up with some stuff while he's out there on the field that's outside of what Kellen asked for that could help us be more successful.
Yeah, I absolutely understand where you're coming from that aspect of it. But Queen, it's so much gray area in there, but I feel you, and I thank you for calling in.
Yes, sir.
Good call from her. That's Queen, y'all. All right, and I get what she said too with Dak Prescott. Do he have the longitude and latitudes to change it? And if he do change the said play, and if the offensive coordinator don't like what he changed it to, will there be any consequences and repercussions to said play being changed? Those are the conundrums that we will have to sit back and say. And to everyone's, my answer would be, if Dak Prescott changed the play to a play that he wanted, and the offensive coordinator didn't like it, then he'll say, "Oh shucks, we'll kill him next time. We'll get him next time." And if Dak Prescott changed the play and he scores a touchdown, "Oh shucks, good job by you, Dak." But if he throws an interception, "Oh shucks," that's just how it goes. Kellen Shotgun Moore, appreciate you, man. All right, I'm trying to get people in here. Appreciate y'all so much for jumping in. Slick with it from the 910, you in. Slick with it. Slick. 909, you live.
Yo.
Talk to me, man.
Law. Can we just be real right quick?
What we being fake all day? Talk to me, man.
No. It was a great show last night.
Uh-huh.
The whole family was talking about Kill Dak and everything, but let's just be real.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what we do, that man in charge still gonna be that man in charge. We still gonna have to go pay them tickets. We still gonna have to go pay them tickets to go see them players. So no, and it's been 25 years now, fans. Let's just be real. We can get mad. We're going to get mad at each other every time, every season. We're going to say every quarterback that we get on this team can't do it. But what have we changed? Nothing. If we don't change our ownership and our stability of being who we are, we don't even know who we are. First we was a running team, now we a passing team, now we don't even know what we are. We're going to argue with each other all the time, man.
All the time.
I think we need a restriction. I literally think we need to have a fan base restriction of, let's stop going to these games and show Jerry Jones you don't run this no more, because if that's not going to happen, this is going to happen to us all the time, because we're getting better. Kellen Moore is a problem. We're getting better. But, hey, I'm just trying to say something.
But this is the thing, though. What's your name again? Let me save it in here. Tyrone. Okay, all right, hold on. Let me save it. Hold on. Because you've been calling for a long time, man.
I've been watching you for years, though.
I know. I've seen your name and your information there for a long time. it is so hard, bro, to boycott a team that won 12 games. When you in Dallas, and when they win, the water tastes good. The water tastes good. The store price is 50% off. People are happy, go lucky. You know, you can run a red light and say, "Go Cowboys." The police officer say, "Okay, salute." You know, so everything goes well when we win it. So we won 12 games, bro. I think we only lost one game at home this year. So it's
and we were the top team that beat all the other top teams.
We were the top team to beat all the other top teams. So, and there are more casual fans than diehards like you, right? That would sit back and say, "Hey man, you know, let's boycott this." There are a lot of people, man, that drop some racks, man. When I was up there at the store in Frisco, dude dropped about $2,000-$3,000 on merch and stuff. I'm like, "Hey man, what's up, man? Holla at me, man. Can you just throw in a jacket for me?" You know what I'm saying? People got money, man. I was telling people, not everybody broke. If you ever been in Frisco, y'all, they got people with long money, longer than Shaq feet, that love this team, man. So it's gonna be hard, bro, for anybody to change Jerry's mind.
Let me say this. We do have a coach who is why can't we just let him, or why can't he just be like, "You know what, Jerry, this is my last year. I don't want to lose no more. Let me do it now."
It makes sense though, right? It makes sense, right?
It
makes sense. But let me ask you this. It makes complete sense. As 1,000%, it makes sense, right? Why not? Why would you hire a coach and put restrictions on him and say, "I will hire you, but you got to hire this dude too because I see something in him. I'll recommend him, right, for you." So as a smart move, my guy said, "All right, I would take the job, and I would take him too if I can get the job." Granted, it makes sense also for Jerry Jones to go ahead and put Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor. But will he do it?
That's looking like the hold on his life right now, and we can all see it almost like. But he might. But you know, he's one of those rich guys that's not going to let it go. He's just not going to let it go.
Not going to let it go. And it's hard to tell people, man, they got money, what to do. I appreciate you so much, Tyrone.
Oh, you lost. I'm watching the show every day.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man, for being a contributor of this show, man. I appreciate y'all. I value you guys' opinion, believe it or not. Law, you back? Okay, you said, Law, add me back. I'm slick with it. Okay, all right, slick with it, man. Slick with it.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, perfect. Yeah, add me in there too, man. I've been doing this for a long time with you, man. In like 3 years.
Yeah.
But let me just let the crowd know. Look, Dallas Nation, I'm a head coach for 10 to 13U football league. Right?
Congratulations, man.
I use Dallas's formation for running the ball. You know, in Pop Warner Little League, it ain't too much throwing the ball. Mm-hmm. Everything is 13, 21 personnel.
Mm-hmm.
So, long story short, at the foundation that I'm at,
right,
I'm teaching these guys the fundamentals of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And when I watch the NFL, it's almost like the NBA. You'll watch them boys inbound the ball and they taking 3 steps, and then we know it's a travel.
Mm-hmm.
So my whole thing is, when you get to that level, why do we forget the fundamentals of the game, even at a coaching aspect? Now, back to what Queen was saying, does he have time to change the play? Yes. But as a head coach, do you really want your quarterback out there changing the play? No. It's kind of like at work. You know, if you're going to do something other than what your boss going to do, you know where it's going to lead you.
Right.
Out the door. So as much as we want Dak to take ownership, he's not Peyton Manning. They're not going to just let him have that full throttle. Hey, you can kill. Oklahoma, it's not going to happen with Dak. That's not who he is. Like you've been screaming all year. 20 to 25 is his limit.
Yeah.
Go get you a 2-headed horseman. Go get you an extra, like Bengals. Man, go get you an extra number 1. Why we let Amari go, I don't know. But we cannot harp on that.
Man,
my motto,
you
that I
spitting
tell
the
my
truth,
kids,
man.
I tolerate you till I replace you. And you have to deal with it. You got to deal with it as a nation. We got to deal with it. So just understand that. We got to tolerate until we replace them.
Yeah, man. Good call from you, man. Slick with it. Thank you, man.
I appreciate it.
Hey, congratulations, Coach. Slick with it, Coach.
Hey, I appreciate it. Hey, and I went to the championship on that as well, y'all. But politics is a thing. It's real.
It's real. Look at it, man. He was spitting the truth over here. I don't know what happened to my chat. Hold on. Let me see if I can monitor my chat. How many people we got live now? You guys can still hear me? All right. Let me know if y'all can still hear me. Action Jackson, you live.
Law, what's going on with you, my guy?
Nothing to it, Chief. Holler at me, man. What you got on your mind?
Man, check it out. Hey, I gotta apologize to you, but the other day.
What happened?
I was on Boss show. I was messing with Boss. He called him a fanboy. You know what I'm saying? And because behind Dak Prescott, because he was taking up for him. You know what I'm saying? At the time, that's what it seemed like. So I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, Boss, you is being a fanboy. And Lowry being a fanboy behind Dak, too. This is what I said. This is the exact word came out of my mouth. So Boss got kind of heated behind it. Like, now, look what you got. Anybody calling me a fanboy behind Dak, whatever. So I was like, you know what? And then the next morning, I see your post. You know what I'm saying? That you posted saying that, stating that, man, about Dak, about, it might be time to, try to look for other options or whatever, So I took that into consideration, like, man, I need to apologize to Law. And then, seeing from these last couple of days, even earlier, seeing how you was talking about, it's not you saying that you're taking up for him, it's saying rock cry over spilled milk. In other words, we got him under contract for this amount of time, and he's gonna be on the team. Why should I be making fuss of something I have no control over? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I understand where you're coming from. So as a man, I just want to take this and be like, man, my bad. I don't saying. I was mad and jumped to the conclusion to call you a fanboy behind that because, I know you being a homer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you, bro. It ain't no hard feelings, nothing like that, though. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt, man. You know what? This is the thing that I look at Dak. I kind of look at it like my kids. I look at it like I know what they're capable of, eligible to do, right? But also, when they do good things, I award them. I'll say, okay, good job, pat on the back. But when they do bad things, hey, I would literally chastise them. And that's how I handle Dak. But sometimes I know and I understand that there are limitations to it, right? And there are limitations regardless of how we look at it. But I can't see the Cowboys working with Dak Prescott and his limitations when they ask him to throw the ball 35 to 40 times. I look at it like, man, Dak Prescott is a better quarterback when he's 24 to 27 attempts. I don't care about how much money they paying him. That's just what it is. Just because, remember I was talking about my car earlier? And I said, it's a 4-cylinder. It don't matter. I put the cold air intake in there. I put new manifolds. I put that Need for Speed type of muffler on the back of it. And it only increased by a little bit, bro. It's still a 4-cylinder car. That car still Harlem Shake when I was trying to climb the hill. You know what I'm saying? So now I understand that that's the limits of that car. And I know that if I had that car, it had a trailer hitch on the back of it. And you can only drive in third gear for so long, right? And the transmission going to jump up out of those, you know what I'm saying? It's not built for that. Just like Dak Prescott, I get it. People want to call me out and say, man, because it's going to be reversed. Because when I say this, I get people, and I'm not trying to name call, but they would say, man, you're not being positive about him. Don't talk about my Dak, how you trash my Dak. But I'm telling the truth. That he got his limitations. It's just like the law of diminishing rates of return. You can't continue to have Dak Prescott throwing the ball 35 to 40 times because the probability or the chances will increase of turnovers, will increase of mistakes. So what I'm trying to do is what I'm trying to help the Cowboys out with is continue to put weapons around him. He's not the type of quarterback that will elevate Noah Brown to high status. That's not him.
Yeah, right.
He's just not him.
So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's just not him at all. Just one other thing I want to say, man. Dak, eventually he gonna have to stand up, and I ain't trying to offend nobody on this line. Eventually he gonna have to stand up and pee to know what it feel like to pee like a man. Cause you got to stand up for himself, bro.
Yeah, he got to. So when Kellen Moore called those plays and he got a knife and a gun on the table, he got to reject that and say, hey, man, look, those are not good weapons for me right now. You know what I'm saying? Those not good options for me right now.
It got to be another option.
Yep.
You know, that's what he got to do. And my thing, I don't think he do that. I think he go with whatever said play is, and he just attempts to run said play.
Yeah.
You know, that's not, you know, you're not gonna win like that.
Nope.
You're not.
Not gonna win like that, man.
Then when you go publicly and you go publicly as to agree with the offense that you're running, you know you got to take that that criticism that comes with it.
Right.
Because you agree with that.
You agree with it. Yeah.
You agree with it. You know what I'm saying? You want to go down with the ship. You want to go down with the ship that way.
Yeah.
But you agree with it. You know, I can't defend you if you rocking with what I'm trying to go against. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You know?
The good thing about this team, we got guys that don't call Dak out though, because on Bills land they got guys on Bills land. Shoot, Stephon Diggs is calling out Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying?
But see, you know what? I think that's probably why we go the clearance route. I call it clearance. You know, Jerry Jones never gonna go top shelf to get a free agent. He'll go to that clearance bundle in the middle of the aisle and get us somebody in the clearance section. You know.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
That's what I'm saying. I think we went and got somebody off the top shelf. They gonna call Dak out. Like, look, bro, look.
Yeah. D Hop gonna call somebody out. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you, man.
Odell gonna call him out too. As much
Yeah.
as he won't get Odell, he's gonna call him out, bro. He's gonna call him out.
Yeah.
I appreciate the call out, man. Salute, man. Keep doing your thing, my guy.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you, man. Salute. All right. And there's territories with this, man. You got to have dogs on both ends. You know, the playmaker, he probably would have want to call Troy out, but he know not to call him out. Like Troy, he would want to call the playmaker out, but he like, nah, Alvin, you get your butt over here. He knew who he can call out. You know what I'm saying? So this is how it goes. Dwayne Brown says $40 million, and you need to hope if he changed the play, it is the right one. I've been telling people our luck will change once Jimmy get into the Ring of Honor. I feel you though. Yeah, Dwayne. But $40 million is just the going rate now, man. Any quarterback that win 10 plus games in 3 years or what have you, they will be considered a $40+ million quarterback. Danny Jones, I know that this contract is old, but Danny Jones, they're going to have to pay him more than $40 million because the market will say such, right? When it's time to pay Jalen Hurts, he's going to have to get more. He's going to have to get more than what the kid got down there in Arizona, Kyler Murray. That's just how it goes. Going rate. Is he worth it? I'm quite sure they can make the justification and say, yeah, he is. That's just how it goes. That's how money goes, man, with the market. You pay what the market is willing to render, and the market was willing to render $40 million for Dak Prescott, right? And that's why the market was willing to render $43 million for Josh Allen. It's just the market value right now. I think Matthew Stafford, he's getting $40 million because that's what the market was for his stats and his accolades and what he did out there on the field. So the money is always going to be the money. What the problem is just like I go back to what I said about my car, my first car I had. It don't matter how much I put into that car. It's still going to be the same. It's still going to give me the same production. It's still a 4-cylinder car. Oh, man, Law got more money. But no, the limitations of the car is still the same. Whether or not it took me to A to B, and when I got more money in my pocket, it's still designed to do exactly what it was going to do. Just because I got more money doesn't mean that the limitations disappear. It just don't work that way. And if we rightfully so, and I'm not calling Dak Prescott this guy, but it took Peyton Manning 9 years. That's 3 years away from what we got out of Dak Prescott so far. I digress. Micah called out Jerry and Dak. This is Tello on which tweet? Let me see, because that would be some breaking news. Let me go. Oh, he's at the top of my list. Let's see what Parsons says, if he calling out anyone. Street law never can a man pockets, Okay, I like that law up in there. Listen, not going to sit here and like I'm talking about Dak. Shit. When I get paid, I'm going to want a big contract too. Come on, stop reaching. Okay, all right. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, Micah, even with how strong you are, this isn't a battle that you can win. We just got to let it go. Yeah, Michael Parsons is fighting in quicksand. He's fighting in quicksand when he's talking about money and the players and what they getting and what they don't get and what they receiving. He's in the point of no return. So he gonna want a big contract. So a big contract will be, how do you pay said quarterback? How would you pay him now? That's going to be something that there's going to be something that we're going to all discuss one way or another. Do you pay him as a linebacker? Do you pay him as an edge rusher? Man, money always muddies the waters. Swayze, you live.
What's going on, Law?
Not much, man. Talk to me.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the topic, how can you build around Dak Prescott?
Yeah.
It's going to be very hard, to be honest with you. Like I said before, in today's league, you need that elite franchise quarterback that can make those 2 or 3 throws in playoffs. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to those 2 or 3 throws when you facing teams that are the same level or a level above. Like you look at Alex Smith, I think it was around 2017. Alex Smith was taking the Kansas City Chiefs to back-to-back playoffs. Andy Reid knew that, hey, even though Alex Smith had 26 touchdowns with 5 interceptions and over 4,000 yards and, was a big story amongst the Kansas City Chiefs, he knew that, hey, we need someone that's a little bit more talented that could work with the talent a little bit above. And that being said, though, 2 options the Dallas Cowboys can have, right? You can have the option where you can say, hey, these last 2 or 3 years with Dak Prescott, we're going to maximize this. We're going to see what we can do to make sure Dak Prescott, the offense is more Dak Prescott friendly, which is a better running back. Maybe Brian Robinson in the first round for Texas. Or you.
Let me ask you this though, Swayze. If Kyle Shanahan, the coach of this team, do we win against the 49ers? You just flip coaches. You put Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy on the 49ers, and you put Kyle Shanahan here. Do we? Well, of course, we keep Dan Quinn, and they still have DeMeco Ryans. Do we win that game?
See, the wrench is the Jerry Jones factor, right? I do think Kyle Shanahan is a way better coach than all the coaches we have put together, right? He's a genius. But at the same time, you got to understand that what Jerry Jones does, and a lot of coaches complain about Jerry Jones, that he puts the power in the player's hand, right? Sometimes players have a lot of input in the offense, and that includes Dak Prescott. So you can say, hey, Kyle Shanahan could call the plays for this team, and maybe Dak Prescott, he might get Dak Prescott not to throw his interceptions, but hey, Dak Prescott is a stubborn dude as well. How do you know that Dak Prescott is not ignoring things that Kellen Moore is saying in his ear?
I know for sure. I know for sure when Kyle Shanahan called that play in on 2nd and 2. I'm not saying that Dak Prescott disregarded whatever original play that was called in, but I'm quite sure 2nd and 2. And I'm not saying that the 49ers are without spot or blemish, but I'm quite sure that 2nd and 2 shotgun would never exist.
And by the way, the 49ers ain't beating the Eagles. Like, they're not that, to me, they're not that good. I think the Eagles blown them out in Philly. I think the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. I mean, I called it before the season started. I called your show, and I said, hey, Jalen Hurts, that talent, the wide receivers with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, that defense, the whole 9 yards. Like, you need an elite quarterback to go further. Like, why you think the 49ers been having the best roster for years, but they've been scrambling for a quarterback, and the reason why is because Kyle Shanahan knows himself that if you don't have that elite quarterback or that multi-talented quarterback, you can only go too far. It's the new league that we're in.
Well, Swayze, I semi-agree, but then all of a sudden, what would remind me of the Eagles will be that Colts game. It will be similar to that, or it could be similar to the Eagles versus the Saints. And I know the Eagles didn't have Jalen Hurts, but I'm quite sure if Jalen Hurts don't play the game like Dak Prescott played, then yes, they can win. Meaning that if Jalen Hurts don't force the ball in doubles, or if it's 2nd and 2, and if Jalen Hurts run the ball versus trying to throw it into a tight window, then they're going to win this game. I think that the Eagles will win this game if they stick to their philosophy and formula. But then again, I've seen the Eagles struggle against the Colts, so it'll be. I'm leaning on more of the Eagles winning this game, but also I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, like, and at the end of the day, like, even with Jalen Hurts, I've been watching. First of all, I wanted to draft Jalen Hurts. By the way, you can look back at the tapes. I wanted to draft Jalen Hurts to come out of Oklahoma. Remember, we was going through the contract negotiation. I said, yo, let's get another quarterback in Jalen Hurts in the 2nd round and keep it kind of like any other position. All right, let's get the next person in. Let's not give those big contracts. And looking at Jalen Hurts right now, people are already saying that he surpassed Dak in talent and stats and the whole 9 yards. And Dak Prescott's become a little bit more older, and he's not as athletic as he was before. So that being said, like, just going through my original point, like I said before, like, it helped Dak Prescott, maybe Brian Robinson in the 1st round, maybe go to 2nd round, maybe get that interior offensive lineman. But me personally, like, just me, if I was a GM, I'm starting over on the offensive end. Like, I'm looking at tanking this year. Like, it might sound crazy, but sometimes you got to move a step back to move forward.
Well, that's one thing. That's one thing that we would never consider, and I think that this team.
But why? I understand that the Joneses probably never considered, but why wouldn't that be a good idea? First of all, Zach Martin is older. He's about to turn 33 years old. You think that's going to be the same Zach Martin this year?
Man, so you think that these guys, all of these guys are Ron Shazier hit away. So you think that they're going to intentionally lose for 2023 season?
I'm not saying the players going to essentially lose, but you can make it a certain way where you can start trading away pieces and accumulating draft picks. So the same thing the Eagles did. The Eagles did the same thing. When they had Doug Pearson, who just went to the Super Bowl, and Carson Wentz, Harry Roseman, which was smart for him to do, he said, yo, this isn't good enough. Let's start over. Let's get better players. Let's get younger players. Let's get a better offensive line. Do draft. Let's trade Carson Wentz for 2 first-round picks. Let's trade multiple pieces. The wide receiver they got.
Well, Carson Wentz didn't have a clause in his contract, so they was able to trade him. And on top of that, the Cowboys have different levels of expectations. We are considered going to the Super Bowl every year.
No,
we have Jerry Jones talking and selling things every day on whether 105.3 The Fan or his own network within the confines of Cowboys.com. So the Cowboys collectively in the last 30 years been successful with their philosophy. They done build a $3.5 billion stadium, workout facility, $3.5 billion. They done built a helipad. Jerry done did all of these things and got elected to he done got a chance to get into the Hall of Fame. So Jerry's not finna change all of that, because at the end of the day, in the last 30 years, his franchise done grew by $6 billion. So it's a win-win for him, whether or not we win or lose. It only winning the Super Bowl is just a feather in the hat for him. It's not any more incentives than to say, hey, I did it. There's no extra incentive. He's making money hand over fist anyhow. I don't see him tanking because every time we win, we make millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah, but like, you're completely right. Right, the Cowboys is printing money, right? People
it's printing money, man.
To the stadium, regardless. Like if we in the middle of the pack, that 10-7, 11-6, there's gonna be those fans that's gonna call them like, "Oh, I love my boys. Like my boys going to the Super Bowl. Don't talk about Dak Prescott." Like, of course, it's gonna like. Those are like Jerry got the blueprint, like which I'm gonna read his book next time he has an autobiography. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm reading his book because he's a crazy salesman. But at the same time, we just talking from a football standpoint.
Well, you just said
you look at the contract.
You look at the contracts.
I'm talking about if you make a whole bunch of cuts post June 1 fences. Like if you trade Zach Martin, you're saving yourself $11 million plus you're accumulating a first round pick. If you trade DeMarcus Lawrence post June 1st, you're accumulating I think it's like multi-millions of dollars plus plus you're getting a potential second round or third round pick. Even Dak Prescott, if you look at post June 1st cuts, right? Of course you'll be having if you trade Dak Prescott, I'm talking about not release him, but trade Dak Prescott. If let's say he wanted to get rid of his no trade clause, like right, and you convince him, you say, "Yo, Dak Prescott, we don't like you. Find a new place. Look for a new place." You're saving yourself multi-millions of dollars. The $89 million in dead cap. That's if you cut him right away before June 1st. But if you trade him post June 1st, you can look it up. You're saving yourself multi-millions of dollars. But I understand it's
man. That's a lot of knee jerks, man, because. How's that knee jerk, well, this knee jerk because I just said if you just go get another coach, let's say if you had Kyle Shanahan, we probably win this game. And I'm not saying
we gave Dak Prescott. He had two offensive. You want a third offensive coordinator? He already had two.
Yes, I would rather change out the offensive coordinator than to eat $89 million worth of dead cap money. I think that we can buy multiple. We can buy a whole trough of coordinators for that price. We only got 2 more years. I wouldn't rip off Zach Martin. Zach Martin's only 32 years of age, right? 32, 33. We still see Jason Peters playing. Well, we still seeing Jason Peters. We still seeing Jason Peters playing.
Yeah, but Jason Peters, first of all, in his career, he kept getting hurt. Remember when he was on the Eagles?
He kept getting hurt. But Zach Martin is by far our best player. I wouldn't do that though.
Herschel Walker was by far our best player, but Jimmy Johnson, a smart football guy, he knew that hey, we need more talent than just this one player. Like
that's when they was 1 and 5. That was 1 and 15. I can see that, but we were just 12 and 5.
We in purgatory.
We 12 and 5. We 12 and 5. It may feel worse to you, but not to them. We 12 and 5.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, and I understand that, but this is no different than remember when Andy Dalton was on the Bengals and they would go 11-5, 10-6 every year, and even though they could win 5-6 straight games, every other football player that wasn't the Bengals fan, they ain't going nowhere.
That's the Bengals though.
They don't got the quarterback.
That's the Bengals though, man.
No, I'm saying that's where we at right now.
But we are not perceived to be the Bengals. The Bengals were 5 and 12 and 5 back to back before they got rid of Andy.
No, I'm talking about the Andy Dalton. Like I'm talking about remember when Andy Dalton. This is the early 2010s when they had AJ Green. They would go 10-6, 11-5 every single year. I'm not talking about the perception of teams. I'm talking about like from a football standpoint. They would go 11-5, 11-5, 10-6 every other year. This is what they had Marvin Lewis, and they would go to the playoffs every single year. They would have a great defense. They would have a good wide receiver. They would have a good offensive line. They would have a good running back. But you knew. They did not have that elite to they didn't have that elite to franchise quarterback to take them over the hump. And I'm saying from a football standpoint, that's where we at as a team. We know that's why when Cowboys fan base, when we go 12-5, 11-6, did we feel happy with that 12-5, 11-6? Because subconsciously we knew we don't have that franchise quarterback to take us over the hump subconsciously, even if you know.
So well. If the Bengals lose, if the Bengals lose this weekend, what have they accomplished then?
I mean, they have a second-year quarterback and Joe Burrow, and they already went to the AFC Championship. Third year, but he was hurt. Remember, he's out for the season because of ACL the first year. But I essentially make this the second year.
And they didn't start going deep until the owner stepped down. The owner had to step down and stop meddling. You know what I mean? And granted,
what you said, but they got that number one bona fide franchise quarterback. You see what he did.
But you had to lose to get there. And the only time we had the opportunity was 2016.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's what we need. That's what we need to do. I mean,
we are nobody is going to go into the 2023 season unless it's a catastrophic injury amongst all of these guys that's on this team. This team is still going to win 10+ games next year. I don't see this team losing.
That's purgatory. Because even you, right, Law? Be honest. Even you, if we go win 10+ wins, win the wild card, even if we. Do you know in your heart, oh, yeah, we going to the Super Bowl. Like, we might have a chance. Like, no, we feel like Houston Texas used to go to the playoffs every single year. We feel like that.
Well, you can't put that, Swayze. I get with what you're saying, fam. And I just love hearing people talk like this. But Jerry is a complete optimism. He going to speak. He going to always want to win because when the Cowboys win, the whole world win. People are buying products. Like I said, the water tastes good in Dallas, all of that good stuff, right? And even when we lose, it seems like we the only team that lost. If that the case fits for the Cowboys, then that should be the same case for the Bills right now. They should be thinking about tanking so they can solidify their defense.
It's different because the reason why
how's it different?
Because every single person looks at Josh Allen as as literally from a talent standpoint, something we see every other generation. Like he's being compared to Patrick Mahomes, and you can say, well, Josh Allen's not winning right now. So this is fourth year, by the way. That's number one. Number two, he lost to another franchise quarterback in Joe Burrow. He ain't lose to Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he lost to Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy and them, then we can look at it and say, yo, Josh Allen, what you doing? You lost to Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase.
Man, this dude put up 10 points. He put up 10 points against Cincinnati Bengals, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that had nothing to do with Joe Burrows. It had nothing to do with Joe Burrows. That Josh Allen versus Burrow thing is washed because he didn't do what he's supposed to do. That's why Stephon Diggs called him out. But I appreciate you, man. I got to actually roll, man.
All right, cool. I just want to say this. You're not thinking Dak Prescott is better than or in the same level as Josh Allen, right? I just want to say that. Like we all know we on Earth right now. Like you don't think Dak Prescott is even the same stratosphere as Josh Allen, right? Like
I do think that both of them watching the playoffs this weekend. I think that both of them won one playoff game and both of them sitting on the couch right now. That's all I have. I would never know what Josh Allen would look like, whereas all 4 wide receivers got option routes. I don't know. I don't know what he would have developed into if he was to be the Cowboys quarterback. I don't know. Those are things that I don't know. I can't compare those 2 quarterbacks to each other. I can't. Josh Allen got a stronger arm. Yes, he do. But there's no comparisons. There's no comparisons to both quarterbacks. Stronger, bigger. It doesn't matter. So if that's the case, then Cooper Rush is better than than Joe Burrows. Why? Because he beat him. Because he beat him head to head. Head to head, Cooper Rush beat Cooper Rush beat Joe Burrows, and his winning percentage is better. So if that's the case, he's 5-1 as the starter. He's 5-1 as a starter.
No, but I'm saying the reason why is because we know Cooper Rush doesn't have the arm strength. He doesn't have the resume as Joe Burrow just went to the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow is not. He's not looked at with his regular season success. Now he's in that franchise quarterback. We're looking at him what he can do in the playoffs and can he go past the conference championship. In his second year, he already went to the Super Bowl. He beat Pat Mahomes in Kansas City.
Well, Cooper Rush beat Joe Burrows, coming off of a Super Bowl. In the regular season. In regular season. And he's 5-1 all time. He's 5-1 all time. If you want to argue with that, then what facts determines that he's not then?
Because he doesn't have the playoff success as Joe Burrow. That's why.
That's the only one. But you just don't know if you'd have kept Cooper Rush. You see how arguments can be tainted. Because now you got Joe Burrows. We know what Joe Burrows look without Jamar Chase. What do Joe Burrows look like without Jamar Chase?
He won like a 5-game winning streak. Right?
On a winning streak, but was it enough? No. So you need to still put weapons around him.
That was this year.
Huh?
I'm saying like he was winning while Jamar Chase. I'm talking about this year when Jamar Chase was hurt. He still was winning.
Yeah. And then you still had Joe Mixon and you still had T. Higgins. The dude, just like the offensive coordinator just said for even Josh Allen, they got weapons. So what you trying to say is that you would literally see Joe Burrows in the Super Bowl back to back if he was throwing to Noah Brown and Michael Gallup.
He probably would. I'm not gonna hold you like that's how good. First of all, Joe Burrow is
man, you out your mind, bro. You out your mind.
You're not having to. We got the defense.
You out your mind.
Michael Parsons already said himself. This is Michael Parsons saying. Michael Parsons said we did our job. We held them less than 15 points. We're not counting the turnovers. We just needed bigger plays. That's calling Dak Prescott out. So even Dak Prescott, even the team that tweeted, they calling him out.
Yeah, out your mind.
Even they don't believe in Dak Prescott.
Well, why they didn't say it? Why they didn't say Dak Prescott?
Because
and why? Hold on. Why was Stephon Diggs bold enough to say Josh Allen was the issue, and the players over here soft enough not to say Dak Prescott is the issue? Why? Why the players ain't gonna say it?
The reason why is because for some reason Dak Prescott, I don't know if they trying to protect his mental health or something like that.
Man, that's bullshit, man. That's bullshit, bro. If he was trash, then the players should just go ahead and say it. They shouldn't be biting their tongue.
When Randy Gregory left,
he said it. Why don't you leave, man? Come on, bro. I appreciate you for calling in.
He said it. Go ahead.
I appreciate you, bro. But what I'm saying is that we are arguing about things that don't hold any weight. Dak Prescott, regardless of whether or not you believe it in Dak Prescott or not, he got 2 more years. It will be foolish to tank next season and to tank the next season just so you can get a possibility. When you have the front office with the mindset and the intellect to say that they wanted Paxton Lentz, go back and go look at all of the quarterbacks that they said that they wanted. There's no guarantee, there's no consolation prize of being a team that tanks. That's all I'm saying. I haven't seen a team to win 12-5, and a fan is saying, hey, I think that we'll be better suited if we just lose out next year and lose out the year before that. I don't think that that's the case in the scenario, y'all. I appreciate you, Swayze, but, man, that's where I just don't agree to. You know what I mean? I don't think you guys buy into that message, though. You know what I mean? I appreciate y'all for tuning in, but I get it. You guys literally hate Dak Prescott. Y'all want him gone. Okay, good. I get it. So what would be the option from there? If you want Dak Prescott gone. But right now, since his contract is such, since his contract states that he is here for at least minimum for 2 years, why not? It will be easier to just say, all right, cut your losses with Kellen Moore. Let's bring in another philosophy to see what we got. And if it still don't work out, then you can say, all right, Dak, hit the road, Jack. Hit the road. But for right now, I think that it would be a knee jerk to say, okay, let's get rid of Zach Martin. Let's go ahead and get rid of D-Law. Let's go. Because then again, even if you get rid of D-Law, there have to be someone that's willing to match D-Law pay. They got to be a dancing partner. That's just what I've seen. And it's so hard for you guys to understand that we were 12-5 last year. We didn't win a playoff game. We 12-5 this year. We won a playoff game. That's improvement. But it's not to the level of degree that we wanted. So what we do is we cut our legs off from under us. And that's not right. That's not fair. That's not fair to the other players that's on this team that's fighting and clawing to try to win something. But to have that mindset that we're gonna tank, come on, dog. That's not it. That shouldn't even be in the thought tracks. Somebody said go tell Parsons he's gonna tank. That's not going to happen, y'all. That's not going to happen. And speaking of weapons, I just seen an elite quarterback by the name of Aaron Rodgers. They took away one of his toys, and he couldn't make it to the playoffs. Just one. It took away Devontae Adams, and he couldn't make it to the playoffs. Is that your king? He haven't made it. He haven't done anything since 2010. That's a long drought. That's longer than 7 years. I got to get up out of here, though. I appreciate y'all so much for tuning in and being part of this. I really do. I really do. But y'all got to look at the full picture. Y'all got to look at the complete picture. We just did things that we haven't done in 30 years. That's winning a playoff game on the road. We have just done something that we didn't do in 30 years. Let that sink in. Also, ladies and gentlemen, the Dallas Cowboys never beat Tom Brady until this year. 0-7 versus one little old quarterback. And we did that. Don't be sweeping that under the rug. I get it, Joe Burrow is a phenomenal quarterback. There's not Burrows hanging off of every tree. I don't even think that there's a Burrows in this draft, and y'all can let me know if it is one. The only way the Cowboys can get to those type of draft spots, you got to be terrible. You got to literally lose a lot of games. And I'm telling you, if the Cowboys lose more than 8 to 10 games, you firing your coaches, people losing jobs, heads gonna roll. Y'all gotta look at the bigger picture. I get it. Other teams can get away with stuff. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when the Cowboys do it. Y'all gotta understand that. But it is easier because there's no salary cap as relates to coaching. To say, hey, Kellen Moore, man, we love you, dog. We appreciate what you bring to the table. But it's time for us to at least see what Dak Prescott can do with this coordinator. Or with at least Mike McCarthy calling the plays. Mike McCarthy literally said he don't like option routes. All we've seen this year is the Cowboys running option routes. That means that the man don't have cojones. That means that Kellen Moore is in a stronger spot than him. I hope that you guys understand that. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to get out of here. I hope you guys respect my time just like I respect y'all. When we on the phone, I'll be having 40 people in there. I can't get to all of y'all. It's impossible. I got to go. But that's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. Be sure to continue to hit that like, share this content. And even if you don't like what I'm saying, just go back and look at all of the other teams. Turn up and listen to the Bills Mafia. Yes, it's not sunshine and rainbows over there. They won one playoff game against, somebody can argue, the Miami Dolphins, a backup quarterback there. It sucks. Off-season talk sucks. But the reality of it is that winning the Super Bowl is not easy. Tom Landry was here for 30 years and only got 2 rings to show for it. 2 rings. In his tombstone, under his historical data, it only will show 2 rings. And he's a legend. Y'all expecting this coaching staff and organization to do things that the great Tom Landry couldn't do. That's just what it is. Appreciate y'all so much. I thank y'all so much for tuning in. The name is Law Nation. DC for life. Salute. Peace.
him it's ice. I got wifey on bling and she ice. Freeze, photo, please, no photos. G's, no, please, no photos. Hit the door and the doorman just whole team here might need some. Still young, but I move like a new deal to my lawyer. If you're down in my management, I'm just warming up a way till I old producers saw the numbers one. Different colors in my baggy light. Chalk it up, talk of the town where you're talking up. Wanna get you a ring and you tough enough. Wanna get you new things with your pockets dull. Run it up. I used to be quiet and out of luck. Now I move up and move humble cause the hate and the jealousy. My mama telling me count up your blessings and run it up. Nowadays nothing really excites me. Only one of me and nobody's like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's ice. I got wifey on bling and she ice. Freeze, photo, please, no photos. G's, no, please, no photos. I keep giving game away. I put game on layaway. I got paid to play today. I get paid to stay away. I get paid on rainy days. I might make it rain today. I got paid off pain today. Thought it'd take the pain away. In my own lane, finger roll. I would never sell my only soul. Heard your whole team was for sale. Heard it's on the market for the low. Who the realest, we might never know. All this acting, you gon' play a role. Give you the world when they sign you up. Dry you out and then they line you up. Ooh, now you're looking hungry, ribs are touching, need some food. Now you're all on live acting surprised, but you was fooled. Boy, get out the way, it's been a day, now you're old news. Now you got the pen and pad, you're trying to take my moves. Nowadays, nothing really excites me. Only one of me and nobody's like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's ice. I got wifey on bling and she ice. Freeze, photo, please, no photos. G's, no, please, no photos. Nowadays, nothing really excites me. Only one of me and nobody's like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's ice. I got wifey on bling and she ice. Freeze, photo, please, no photos. G's, no, please, no photos.
Let's go, baby.
Spartans, what is your profession?
Until next time, DC for life. And you.
Don't let the street lights hit you all alone. You know it's dangerous to go alone. Want the truth? You don't let the street lights hit you. Can I be your player too?
I follow.
Don't let the street lights hit you. Can I be your player too?
I follow.
Wherever you go, whatever you do, player too. Hey, come on now, dog. Come on, man. If a paper crane can fly, then